Good evening, everybody, and good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are joining in the world. Uh, and welcome. This is, I think, is the fourth session of Journey to the Tarot. And if there's someone, hello, hello, Lulu, hello, Rosalind. If you remember last week, I was talking about how the tarot are also connected to the Kabbalah. I'm pronouncing that correctly now. And last Monday, I went through the Kabbalah tree of life, how in the Kabbalah tree of life, the major and the minor arcana. Um, Hello, Marie Austin. Hello, Amanda. Hello, how they are, you know, or they are connected to the tree of life, what they do represent in the tree of life. And I I will re-summarize here a little bit, um, and basically the 22 major arcana corresponds to the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. And we have established, hello Alison, we have established that. And if we look at the wheel of fortune, the wheel itself, we not only we find the word, the Hebrew word, not only tarot barota, which in Hebrew means guidance, but there's also the name, the Hebrew letters that means basically God. And uh, the tree of life, basically in the tree of life, the major arcana represents paths, and the minor arcana represents nodes. Now, basically, the mm, the nodes are 10 nodes because they count the minor arcana from the ace till, for example, if we are talking about wands, from the ace till the 10 of wands. So there are 10 nodes, and then 22 paths, each for any major arcana. And basically, uh, the the nodes and the paths represent our mm, our journey in life, and how every time we get to a node, every time we get to a node, we learned a lesson which is necessary for us to evolve, not only as human being, but also as a spiritual beings. And basically, last time, I told you about the nodes and the paths, but um, I didn't have um, um, I didn't have a representation. Now I I have prepared a really small presentation just to give you an idea, because the more, if you really want to, and this is something that if you are interested, there's a lot of literature out there. You can research it also by yourselves, if you are interested, because as I said already, I know I repeat myself a lot, but as I said already last week as well, the more I look into it and the more I find, the more information. But it's not only about, information, knowledge, like learning things to only to talk about. It's also knowledge that can help you, can help during a reading. Um, and I'll give you a tangible example, uh, not only this evening, but also next week, because this evening, I'll be starting talking about how the tarot and astrology are connected. And for those who are not already an expert on tarot, the connection with astrology is not only with the major arcana, but also with the minor arcana too. Um, this evening we're going to cover, the classical knowledge, meaning the major arcana. Next week, because that's a little bit it's a little bit longer, how astrology is connected to the minor arcana, and you will be, uh, you know, I hope pleasantly surprised. Next step is going to be numerology, and if if I can ask Veronica to share the first slide. Okay, this is basically the Kabbalah tree of life, and this is represents what is called the the Jacob's ladder. Basically, the parts connects to the nodes. The nodes. Apologies for my pronunciation. And the paths are represented by um, the major arcana. As you can see here, we have the Fool, the Magician, the Empress, and then the big circles represents uh, basically the nodes. And um, all together, the 22 um, the 22 paths are defined as the path of the serpent, sorry, and represent the journey, um, the journey of the seeker, you know, the journey that we do to come back uh, to our real self. And basically every time every time that uh, we we conquer basically one path, we learn, as I was saying before, we learn a lesson. Um, and and that's why, also the major arcana, really from the first one till the last one, represents a journey. Then we have the nodes. The nodes are represented by the minor arcana, and every every suit of the minor arcana is um, is represented by um, a tree of life, basically. Um, if we can see the next slide, please. Okay, we have wands associated with fire, cups with water, swords with air, and pentacles with earth. And these are also defined the four worlds. And the reason why, if you remember last week, I was wondering why each suit was associated, the suit was associated with a certain, because the three, put together, they form basically a ladder called the Jacob's ladder, where the pentacles are, rep- basically are our earthly life, and the wands instead is that part of the ladder that goes, that reach the divine. And I was wondering why the the order was, you know the suits were put in this order. And basically there's this correspondence with the elementals, which with fire, water, earth. And also the reason is they represent the human experience. So wands represent action, and cups represents our emotions, our intuition, our subconscious mind. Swords, our intellect, um, and communication. And pentacles instead, our worldly life. So that's why they are in the order, um, that they are. And basically, um, the four letters, um, instead, the letters that you can see here, that spell the god name, the name of God. Yeah. um Not every you won't you're not going to find um these letters in every deck, because maybe you can find a deck with a more modern approach, uh, but um, these mm, these four letter are mm, are basically they represent, the Hebrew, as you can see here. Ones are connected to the letter Aleph, um, and the letter itself has a meaning, and the meaning is associated with power, beginning, and creation. Then caps, um, the letter is associated with the Hebrew letter mem, and the caps are the feminine, um, the water, feminine, and subconscious. Pentacles are associated with the letter yod. So grounding and material things, and then sword. Um, we have the letter um, bow, which is associated more often with communication. And the tarot has the tarot has been linked to, okay, we can take away the small presentation, thank you. um the tarot have been linked to astrology by the order of the Golden Dawn. I was reading also about the Order of the Golden Dawn, and it's really, really interesting. The Order of the Golden Dawn was founded in England in 1818. The initial purpose um, of the Order of the Golden Dawn was to bring back certain practices, but in their purest form. Um, Subsequently, they spread literally around the world, and they are still. There's also uh, and for example, two major, not major, uh, two members of the Golden Dawn are Aleister Crowley and Edward Edward Waite, the one who created the Rider Waite tarot deck. Um, I'm not going to go into the history of the Order of the Golden Dawn, but I don't think is. But anyway, they introduced the link between the tarot and astrology. Uh, Many, I knew only about the link between the major arcana and astrology. When I was looking into it to prepare the session, um, and I decided to not to talk about it this evening because the the quickest part is the association with the major arcana. But when I when I when I found the information about the association between the minor arcana and and astrology, things become a little bit more, a little bit. Uh, I don't want to say more complex, but it was like, the association with the tree of life of the Kabbalah. It's a little, it needs to go a little bit, uh, a layer deeper to give, to give a new meaning also uh, for a reading. The same happens um, within, with the minor arcana and astrology. It depends. Every number is associated um, uh, with the signs, and that gives more mm, more information, more to read during a reading, more information that can be given to a client doing a reading. But we see that um, next next time. And um, and basically, beside the the reading, beside doing a reading using uh, our intuition, we also have as a point of reference um, the the major arcana being associated with a certain sun sign, and with the astrology chart too. The most used system, and then we go into the minor arcana. Now, not every major arcana is associated with with a sun sign, and that goes by itself, because the sun signs are 12, but the major arcana are 22. Basically, they start they start with the emperor. The emperor is associated with Aries, the hierophant with Taurus, and Gemini, the lovers, and the chariot with Cancer, and Leo with strength, and Virgo with the hermit, Libra with justice, Scorpio with the death card. Sagittarius is the major arcana is temperance, Capricorn, the devil, and Aquarius, the star, and Pisces, the moon. And most most often than not, uh, you can hear um, a reading. You can hear a reading where only the major arcana are. If a major arcana appears in the reading, the reader, says this can be this is associated with such sign. So mm, and you can it's at times, things can correspond, but other times can't. Whereas with the association with the association that is made uh, between the minor arcana and the sun signs and the chart of the chart and the houses, because then come into play as well are also the planets, not only the signs, not only the signs, but also the planets. um there's, in that instance, there's also the possibility, the opportunity there i- to give more a more in-depth reading if the person who is reading has also a good understanding and a good knowledge of um, of astrology. And uh, and uh, today, um, even those who are not, of course, I totally, my gosh, those who are uh, let's say proficient astrologer that have been, they studied astrology, and they do, not only the classical natal chart where they tell you how the planet they were when you were born, but you know they use astrology. uh, the connection, the connection between, my feeling is that the connection between the a tarot reading and also the, um, how if someone has this tool as well, check how the planets and they're moving in the house, in the 12 houses of the astrology chart, how they can influence. It's it's a more in-depth reading. um, and as I said since the beginning, uh, my intention here is, um, is really uh, to give a tarot reading, um, um, a new, you know a new perspective. And as I'm researching, there are already mm, there are already uh, people that have been doing tarot reading for 30, 40 years, who are already ahead. They didn't stop to the classical, let's say, classical tarot reading, but they are already ahead considering other things. Um, for example, when I was researching about the Kabbalah, I I found a person who reads the tarot only in connection with the mystic, the mystic meanings of the tree of life in the tarot, of the Hebrew letters, and so, mm, let's say they are already uh, ahead of the game, like as you know as thing. things should be at a certain point, um, meaning, growing. Otherwise, doing always um, the same old. Um, um, and from here, my exploration in the tarot reading, um, I would like it. I would like it to be more in depth, uh, by putting, uh, by finding these golden nuggets that each tradition brings, each tradition that is included in the tarot can bring. And I also think, um, that if the deck initially, the rider waite was created in this way, um, putting together all these esoteric uh, traditions, hermetism, esoteric, there's a reason. um, is um, this evening I would like to ask if anybody has any question to ask at this point. Mm, I know that, um, I don't think. Okay. Um, when I was looking um, uh, at the card. Okay, Kathy. Okay, Kathy. For example, when I was looking at the major arcana, the world, um, if you remember the world as the wheel of fortune, they have all the elementals, and also the sun signs in the card. And I was um, I was on holiday. Uh, I'm talking about more or less 10 years ago. I was on holiday in Sweden, and I entered a church. And if my memory is still with me, this church uh, should be the cathedral. It's a really nice small church, beautiful. Basically, I enter the main door, and before entering the church itself, there was another door, as normally it's in churches. mostly Catholic churches or any other tradition. And I looked up, and I was surprised because there was on the door, on this door, there were four different pictures, depiction, more than pictures. Um, and these four depictions were basically when I looked at them, they looked familiar to me. I said, "Where did I see this? Where did I see this? This look so familiar." And then I had that moment, and basically are the depiction that we find on the Wheel of Fortune on the four sides, and uh, in the world too. And I took a photograph. I can prove it. I can prove it. I have the photograph. I took two photographs to be sure. So, mm, and I always wonder there. I always wonder there how that could have been connected um, with with the tarot. Now I know why. I know a little bit, um, and even how the Christian mysticism has been uh, has been introduced. That part um, that is really mm, is really there to tell us something that goes really back at the core of of the traditions that then come from a pagan heritage, from Greeks, Greek mythology, and how it has been mm, transformed. Um, but still, we can find it um, in the cards, maybe with a different uh, uh, under a guise. Uh, but if we look, we can if we look at it with attention, um, we can see um, where the tradition that it comes for, and it help us, um, could be a source, um, could be a source for the reader uh, to give more guidance to the person who's receiving the reading. Um, and another part that I believe to be very interesting with the tarot is not only not only the consideration of the signs mm, with the major arcana, but also with the minor arcana, and also the planets. Um, because in the past maybe it was more difficult for even for those who are not seasoned astrologer uh, to maybe um, give a more in-depth reading according also to the position of the planets. and how they come up in the tarot as well. But nowadays, with the technology that we have at our disposal, I believe it's if we have the foundation, of course, those are necessary. If we have the foundation, we can also see how mm, the position before a reading, mm, how the position of the planets um, can have an influence in someone's life. Because I'm telling you this because in my own experience, um, every time that I did a reading, inevitably what was coming up uh, was not was not was not only what the recipient of the reading was asking, but also their need. And I found this has happened to me um, many times actually. I'm usually I don't, if I do a reading, I don't like asking the person what do you want to know, because I find it um, too intrusive. Um, because maybe someone could be dealing with, of course, if they go to some, they come for a reading, they are aware that maybe private things can come up, but I prefer to tell them, think about what you would like, what you need to know, what you would, or what you would like to know. And at times it's happened that um, what was coming up in the reading was not what they asked, because what they asked was what they wanted, but in the reading was coming up what they needed. Um, so giving the reading, um, giving the reading another layer of in-depth information, um, by applying um, the the tradition the that are included, um, could be um, could be giving more guidance to the person who comes for a reading, um, and even on a on a you know as I said already, subconscious and unconscious level. When we see the cups, for example, the suit of cups appearing in a reading, or we are drawing a card for someone, it's nearly autopilot. We jump. It's emotions. It's about emotions. Um, at times it could be that, but there can also be something, oh sorry, something um, deeper, other than um, you know the emotions, eh, because um, it could be seen also as our unconscious our subconscious. Um, it it all goes back to being able to tap and to keep in consideration these aspects as well during a reading. The tarot has other um, how can I say, has other type of decks like oracle cards. They're tools, but when uh, when we use these tools, they gave us prompts to tap into aspects of um, of a person life uh, that maybe in that moment are needed um, for the person. And instead of staying only on the surface, we have the opportunity to do it. Okay, now um, I I hope that I hope that this that you find that you will find this useful. Um, Most of all, I hope that I'm not boring you with all these things, and I know that um, uh, but mm, I really would like to how can I say, give um, give a tarot reading a renewed um, a renewed meaning, um, as is always is categorized as fortune telling, um, and I do everything depends on how it's done. um, this is of course is my opinion, and mine only. mm. Okay. mm, I I would stop here for this evening, and I hope you found it interesting as I do, and I'll see you next Saturday for the readings, for the live readings, and then the following Monday we are going in depth with the minor arcana and mm, and astrology, the planets, the planets, the houses, and how they are all encompassed in the minor arcana. And I will put into also numerology. Let's see how it pans out. Okay. Um, thank you very much for being here this evening. And again, all as always, thank you to Veronica for giving me the opportunity to do this, and Veronica and Universal Spiritualism. And please buy Veronica books, because it's another golden nugget that gives you a lot of information, a lot of guidance on. the development of on your spiritual path. Okay. Have a nice evening and a nice rest of the week, and see you on Saturday. Thank you very much.